From the beginning, Mitchell had a weird feeling about her. Hey, I'm Sapphire. Want to hear something scary? As we've learned from Rachel's Dark 5, some people can be real monsters. In this next chapter, Mitchell tells us about his close encounter with a killer. When Mitchell was about 12 years old, his mom Susan was set up on a blind date with a woman named Elizabeth. It went pretty well, so Susan introduced her to Mitchell. From the beginning, Mitchell had a weird feeling about her. It felt like she didn't quite know how to interact with children, so she was always a bit distant and cold. Meanwhile, she was showering Susan with gifts and acting pretty clingy. A week after Susan and Elizabeth started dating, the three of them went to Susan's friend's wedding. Elizabeth wore a baggy tie-dye shirt and basketball shorts, a very odd choice for a formal occasion. When they got there, Mitchell's eyes grew at the sight of all the food. His eyes landed on the platters of shrimp, but Susan reeled him back into reality. Don't eat any of the seafood. It was cooked with peanut oil. Mitchell sighed in disappointment. He loved shrimp, but was allergic to peanuts. Later in the evening, Elizabeth approached Mitchell at the table, holding a plate of shrimp and smiling widely.
Look, a guest brought some seafood cooked without peanut oil. Isn't that lucky? Your mom asked me to bring this to you. Enjoy.
She placed the plate in front of Mitchell and walked away. Mitchell looked around to see if he could spot his mom and get her nod of approval, but he couldn't see her. Being a young kid, he didn't overthink it and ate a shrimp. It was just as delicious as he had hoped it would be. So he ate another, and another, until his throat swelled up and couldn't swallow anymore. Susan spotted Mitchell across the room, covered in hives and struggling to breathe, and she quickly called an ambulance. Once Mitchell was okay and everything had calmed down, Susan scolded him. "I told you not to eat the seafood. Why didn't you listen to me?"
"It was Elizabeth. She said it didn't have peanut oil. She said you told her to give it to me."
Susan looked over at Elizabeth.
Oh, poor kid. He's delusional from the medication.
A week later, Susan called things off with Elizabeth. She believed Mitchell when he told her that Elizabeth had tricked him, and she couldn't stand the thought of being with someone who would intentionally cause harm to her child. Just to be safe, they changed their number so Elizabeth couldn't get a hold of them. Years had passed and they had forgotten about Elizabeth. Until this past summer, when they turned on the news.
Her job was to care for the elderly and comfort the ill, but former nurse Elizabeth Wetlaufer is now one of Canada's worst serial killers.
The woman they called Beth was charged today with 8 counts of first-degree murder.
4 counts of attempted murder and 2 counts of aggravated assault.
She had killed their loved ones.
All by way of insulin overdoses.
In a chilling confession to police, Wetlaufer claimed they were annoying.
Wetlaufer was found guilty of professional misconduct.
Make sure that this woman gets the justice she deserves, because she had no right to do what she did.
I think she's sick. Literally sick.
Oh my God. Thank you to Mitchell in Canada for sharing this horrifying experience with me. Like this video if it gave you the chills, and don't forget to subscribe to Snarled and our sister channels Hissy Fit and Slay Tricks. If you or anyone you know have any unique, paranormal, or just plain freaky experiences, send me a message on Instagram and I might feature your story. And if you dare to follow me, my links are in the description below. Until next time, sweet dreams.